to another episode of Paranormal the New Normal. I'm your host, as always, Jeremy, here trying to make the world seem a little more normal. Does it ever really happen? We all know after 200 something episodes, it doesn't happen. It's not meant to happen. We get there some episodes where it might be a little closer to normal, but it never gets fully normal. And in the honor of not keeping things normal, I want to welcome my guest tonight because it ain't going to be normal tonight, and I am looking forward to it like nothing else. My guest tonight is Daniel Jackson, spirit medium and author, and I am so happy to have him on. Welcome, Daniel.
Here I am. Yay. Yeah. How's it going, Jeremy?
It's going okay. Some good day and bad day all together in one, as always. But it's
if life was meant to be easy, what would be the point of living at all? Wouldn't be.
exactly. But for those folks who didn't get a chance to check the description, I was supposed to have Daniel on a year ago, but I took a hiatus for a month at that point, so it didn't happen. But we are blessed to have him today because this is a conversation I've been looking forward to for a long time, and I didn't even remember I was looking forward to it. But you know what? That's the way life works. Things happen when they're supposed to happen.
You say that now.
Oh, I get a feeling we're peas in the pod, buddy. I really
do. Yeah. We're gonna make pea soup here in a minute.
Well, let me start off with the same question I ask everybody. What got you into the paranormal field that you're in? What led you down that road?
Nothing really led me to the road. It's just been a part of my life ever since I can remember. I've seen spirit ever since I was 3 years old. But my whole family was seeing them at that point. We lived in New Jersey, next to the Delaware River in a little town that had a battlefield on it, and there was a little hospital there, and this is where the Hessians fought. And my sister told me they did a big dig there a couple of years ago, and they found like hundreds of bodies there. So, but of course, they're not just going to bury one body at a time. So, but our family was experiencing spirit again since I can remember, since I was 3. But at that point, after that, by the time I was 17, my mom and dad and I moved to Delaware, and I was still continuing to see them. And everyone else, not so much, but a little bit, but not as much as me. But it just continued throughout my entire life. But we were seeing them in a sense like my sister was getting ready for school. My mom was helping her, and they were in the bathroom and in front of this door with a full length mirror. And when they stood in front of it, there was another woman standing in the mirror, and she had on a colonial outfit. There was one time when my brothers and I were sitting downstairs watching TV, and my sister's room, 2 flights up, her record player turned on. Now, this is in the 70s, so you had that little post there, and you pick up the record and you put it on there, and then it drops it down, and the needle comes over. This thing was switching records, so it was taking a record off and putting another one on. So, I mean, if you want to call that poltergeist activity, you can, but it's not really, because none of it was in a negative way. What it was doing was getting our attention. They would move glasses and ashtrays around the house right in front of us. I had a friend come over to the house one time. He wanted to witness it for himself. We were kids, and nothing was really happening. And then we were eating sandwiches in the kitchen, and then the radio turned on, and the volume just went all the way up. So, and then he ran out of the house scared shitless. Yeah, but he was telling everybody at school, telling the story, but I was laughing my butt off all the time because he turned whiter than any ghost I've ever seen. So, yeah. But it was those kind of instances that happened all the time. But this went on throughout my teens, 20s, 30s, 40s. It was right before I was turning 50 when my wife went away on vacation for 2 weeks. And for those 2 weeks, I saw everything you can imagine in a scary movie happening in my house. I had poltergeist going on in my house at that moment for 2 weeks.
Jesus.
Except the only problem is it hasn't stopped.
Really?
Yeah. So it goes on. It goes on around me all the time. But I understand it now, and I know that I'm this, and that's why it's happening around me all the time, because they're coming to see me. For me, it's like being in a room with 1,000 people, except nobody leaves and more just keep coming in, and I physically see them. I don't ever not see them. I don't ever not see spirit throughout my day, ever. It doesn't turn off and it doesn't go away. But I don't just see people. I see dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish, and I see plenty and plenty of other beings from other worlds all the time. Some of them I could describe, most of them I can't because they're not people.
Oof, that's so okay. So many questions on that one. I guess. Well,
People say they want
first
my
question.
gift. They only want the cool part. They don't want the rest.
I mean, when you describe it like that, I can actually see why they wouldn't. I really can. I mean, I always say like I've been told I'm an empath, but I can't see anything, and
But you feel it.
part of me,
You pick up on their emotions.
yeah, exactly. I could pick up on the emotions because as I've said in my show before, I do live in I live in a possessed house. I don't like the term haunted because it's not really haunted; it's possessed. They don't do anything.
Um, Not really. It's more haunted. The reason why I say it's haunted is because spirit is everywhere. So everywhere you go, hey, she's good looking. So everywhere you go, wherever you go, whatever you do, uh, wherever you are, you could go to Walmart and spirits there. They're everywhere. You just have to accept that they are. But there are some good ones and some bad ones. But in any case, some spirit want to be seen, most don't. But the ones who do want to be seen and do want to be heard and do want to be felt will, and they'll try to
And
get
I
your
mean,
attention.
yeah, I mean, there's as far as I know, from there, I know there are two in my house. The original couple who lived here,
There's 4 in
and
your house. There's 4 in your house. I know that, I just got told. There's 4. I get
okay,
touched on
well,
my face. When I get touched on my face, this is yes, and that's no. When I get it feels like a tear running down my face. Uh, but the other 2 that are in your house are not human.
really,
Yeah, you got 2 dogs in your house. They're telling me that, and then when they tell me that, and it comes into into my mind as thought, and then they touch my face. When it feels like going across my eyebrow or some other place on my head. And in the beginning, I was getting 2 touches, one here and one here by 2 different archangels. As of last week, it's 72. So and I know all their names and who's touching me and when. And
that's
yeah, and then
amazing.
but there's 2 others that touch me that are not archangels. One of them here is Jesus, and the other one touches me on my eyelid, on the hairs on the eyelashes, but he's only touched me 6 times, and that's God. And I've seen God 6 times. He's spoken to me 8 times. You want it to go down the rabbit hole? I'm the bottom of the hole.
Oh, God, I freaking, I see. I knew I was looking forward to this interview, and I am so happy it happened finally, because it's that, and that makes sense though. That makes sense because the original owner had a dog. We know because he had his footprint put in cement in the front in the walkway, and we also had a 8 not 8 week, we had a 15 or 16 week old puppy that died in us, and we had to put down. So, and
I
that makes
can't make
sense.
I can't make this shit up.
That
How
makes
would I
sense.
kn
That makes sense.
how would I know
That's
that?
you wouldn't exactly. We never.
I could have guessed any animal. Could have guessed a bird or a fish or a cat or anything else. 2 dogs.
Yeah, that makes sense because that would be the original owner's dog and our dog Harley that died at 15 weeks old from born with a misshapen kidney. But
I'm born with a misshapen head. Look at me. Just kidding.
I mean, so that makes sense. And gotta ask though,
Yeah, yeah.
do you sense anything else in the house? Because we've been questioning lately whether there's something darker in the house.
Yeah, there's a man in your house. He's not too happy.
But is he one of the four, or is he something different?
Oh, no, he's something different. He believes it's his house. It's not your house. In his mind, it's his house. He doesn't like you being there.
All right, that may be the original owner then, and maybe the two humans are something else. I mean,
No,
maybe
no, he's just one of them. The other one, so you have 2 humans and then 2 dogs, but so he's one of them. The other one is,
I would assume his
um,
wife, but
yeah, it's a woman, yeah.
I would assume it's
Yeah,
his wife, and
yeah, she's just kinda subservient to him. He does what
uh,
she does what he tells her to do. Still in that realm. They have not crossed over. They are in what we call the earthbound side, or I call the low energy side. That's where they are. But it's they're not just people there. There's dogs, cats, horses, goats. There's no such thing as a rainbow bridge. Everyone who tells you that is full of shit. They don't know. Uh, Not everything crosses over into the light. As many that do cross into the light, there's that many that don't. And the many
Oh,
that
of
don't,
course.
yeah, not everything there is horrible. I mean, there's dogs and cats and cows and horses and fish and all that stuff just hanging around and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that they're horrible. They just made a choice for themselves that wasn't the best choice, but they made a choice, their own choice. That's what you go to heaven because you make a choice. You stay in the earthbound because you make a choice. That's it. God doesn't God gave you free will. He's not going to punish you for something that he gave you. I mean, if God is so smart because he is that smart, don't you think he would make put a limit on those choices if we were going to make some bad choices? But he didn't. So you could make every choice that you needed to do. There is no such place as hell and purgatory. There's just earthbound, what this low energy realm. Well, it's not really earthbound, it's just a low energy realm because I see a lot of things there that aren't earthly from Earth. Or you cross over into what we call heaven, but it's not really heaven per se. It's just like this place, except there's no pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, and none of that stuff there.
Yeah, it's another dimension. I don't think I am
Absolutely.
not believe I'm
Yeah,
not a
another
believer in
realm.
heaven or hell at all. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's another realm. That's all. It's a different existence, but it's in that existence, you're not feeling pain. If you walk around here in Earthbound in that place, you still feel pain. You're there because you do carry your pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, and you didn't want to let it go, or you were scared, or someone told you weren't going to go to heaven, and God was going to judge you. He doesn't, and but they stay here and they still have it. Now they also feel actual physical pain. So if another spirit were to walk up to you and smack you in the face, you still feel it. Now you're not breaking bones, but you feel it because you
that would
chose
make
to stay
sense.
there. Yeah, you chose to stay there. So
That would make sense because I mean, I sometimes like I'll get the most random like foot pain or something in this house, and it's almost like a something stopped my foot, but there's nothing there to do it,
oh, there's
and
something
it's
there.
I'm
They
so
can
oh
do it.
there is, but I
Because
can't see it.
energy
Yeah,
is energy. Energy can move other energy, so they could stomp on your foot if they wanted to. Now, it does take a lot of energy for them to do that, but they can still be if they are a negative one, they will just go collect it from one of the others that are there or come through into this realm and get it from some piece of person who's walking around being a piece of shit. Because 'cause I'm not judging them. They're a piece of shit because they choose to be. They can just choose differently, but they don't. So, people don't understand the difference between judgment and fact. There's a difference. So, but they will come through and they will get this negative energy from people. I mean, they love to go to churches because everybody there is trying to prove to the other person I'm a better Christian than they are. So that's negativity right there. Because choosing to show
yeah.
that I'm better than you and you're better than me type of thing, that's negativity. That's ego.
Of cour
And ego
of
has
course
no
it is.
place
Yeah.
in spirituality. Yeah.
No, that's ego. That's narcissism. That's
Yes.
you don't want to be part of that. I mean,
No, you
that's
don't. You
I mean,
continue to be part of that throughout your life. There's a possibility you might choose to stay here as an earthbound spirit and remain around all these negative pieces of shit. Why do you wanna do that? Go home.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And all right, well, I gotta ask,
Yeah, yeah.
what do you what? Oh, I normally would say, what do you think? But in your case, I'm gonna say, what do you know about reincarnation?
Everybody reincarnates. If you cross over into the light, you may reincarnate. And the reason you'll reincarnate is because you're not being punished by God. We punish ourselves. I mean, God doesn't judge us. We judge ourselves 1,000 times a day. Why does he need to do it once more? So you will come back because you did not fulfill your purpose. Learning lessons is everything. Everything you do in your life. I don't know if people are just hearing us or seeing us, but I have a towel in my hand. If I pick up the towel and I put the towel down, that's a lesson. If I pick it up and I drop it, well, it's not a good lesson or a bad lesson. It's just a lesson. How do I learn it? Well, next time I'll grip it a little bit tighter, and that way I won't drop it. If you walk through the door and there's a nail in the floor and you trip over the nail, how do you learn that lesson? Well, hopefully you'll go get a hammer and bang it back in. Not everybody does. Some people trip 4 or 5 times throughout their life. Some people trip out throughout their entire lives, and they don't learn lessons very well. I know those people. I worked around them for 6 years. It was called prison. They haven't figured out that they're not good criminals yet. So, but, uh, but yeah, it's the truth. And people don't like the truth because the truth is the truth because it doesn't fit into their life. So, uh, but, uh, but yeah, that you reincarnate because you haven't fulfilled your purpose. Your purpose is not becoming a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or anything else. That's an occupational choice. And if you're walking around going, "Oh, my purpose is this, and I'm going to be, and I need a pat on the back, and look how wonderful I am," you're an egotistical piece of shit. That's what you are. Let that shit go. Your purpose is we're here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not because you can, but because you should. In a way where you're going to help someone to do something they can't do for themselves, or you're helping them to figure it out, or just like basic things like if you see a dog in the street and you go, "Oh shit, let me get that dog out of the way." You could be that person that goes, "Ah, fuck that dog, man. I got no time for that. I'm late for work." If you're late for work, get up earlier. It's that simple. Okay, but you go and help the dog and you get it out of the way and you maybe you take it to its owner or you take it to a vet or maybe you take it that's helping. That's what gets you your golden ticket home to go home and stay home. That's what it does it. Because some of them
See,
do, but not everybody
I
does.
I like that. That's and okay, that gives me hope because I mean, I've always lived my life in the way that if I can help another person, another animal, I'm gonna do it because
Good,
I'm not here for myself. I'm gonna help somebody.
good. That's right.
I
You don't wanna be here
I
for yourself anymore because you're on the high side.
and I mean, I plus I mean, why do I wanna be here for myself? I ain't nothing special. I knew that since the
Right.
day I was freaking born.
Yes,
I
you
ain't
are.
nothing special.
If you weren't special, you wouldn't be here.
Alright,
You're
well, maybe
here
I'm
be
special to some
You're here
degree,
for
but I
yeah,
mean,
for a reason. You're here to help each other. That's what God sends us all here to do. We just don't all figure it out. And what I meant by saying you're on the high side is you're on life number 28. You've been here 28 times. You're on life number 28. So you've been here 27 other times, meaning you've had 27 other sets of moms and dads, brothers and sisters, dogs and cats, and 27 other astrological signs that mean absolutely horseshit. Because your body's born. It's not born under stars. It's just born. But your soul was created, has nothing to do with stars. I mean,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
only 12 different groups of stars. What about the other gazillion? What do they have to do with you? As much as those 12 do? Nothing. Let it go. Don't let that
you
little
see
newspaper article saying your horoscope define what your day's gonna be like. You define it by the choices that you make. That's how you do it.
see, I've talked to astrologists before and
They're
astronomists,
full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about.
and I mean,
The
I'm
original calendar is 5 months long, then it was 9 months, then it was 10 months, and then it was 12 months. So what's that mean? They had 5 signs, they created 4 more, they created 1 more, and then created 2 more. They created them. This is astrology, you ready? This is what they were doing. They were standing around looking up at the stars going, "Let's play connect the dots. Hey, it makes a fish." No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And those months only have to do with the seasons of the year, not you. Let it go. Not
well, I
important.
mean, I I do kind of find I do kind of find it funny how when like because I've had my birth chart read by astrologists and it kind of lines up perfectly with my personality, but I mean, maybe it's because I'm looking for it to. Maybe because people are looking
Correct.
for it too. That's why it does.
Correct. They go, "Oh, well, yeah, that's me." That's you looking forward to it. They made it all
Exactly. I
up.
mean, yeah, I mean, our you can buy books and it'll say the exact same thing, but I think
Correct.
it's because it was all made up to begin with, probably, and it was just
All of it is because we don't actually know what day it is and what year it is and what time it is. I mean, seriously, we go by our time. This is what do we call time by? BC and AD. Now, before Jesus Christ was born, you think they called it BC because they didn't know
nope.
who he was and he wasn't born yet, right? So time is so we say it's 2024. No, it's not. It's way past that. Way past that. We haven't been here for like 10 or 12 or 40,000 years, something like that. We've been here for hundreds and thousands of years. They just don't want to tell you that. They don't
Oh,
want
I
you to know.
100%. Yeah, I do not subscribe to any kind of
Yeah.
religion basis.
Yeah, me either.
So I I mean, I have talked to enough people who, like you, talk to extraterrestrials and know that
Yep.
we've been here for millennias
Yeah.
and extraterrestrials helped in that process.
Yes. Yeah. How do you think we got here? Not by Adam and Eve or Adam and Steve, whichever you prefer. We were born from them. They brought us here. We were at another planet before this place. You've heard of it. It's called Mars. We destroyed that place. I mean, they did a test on Mars. They did a composition of the dirt there, and they found an element within that dirt that only occurs after a nuclear explosion. Can't make this shit up, people.
You can, I mean, and it's
We
funny
were
because
there.
I see that meme all the time on Facebook where it's like, "What if Adam and Eve were the last 2 survivors of Mars and they came to Earth because their
No,
planet was destroyed?"
yeah, no, there's no Adam and Eve or Adam and Steve, and there is a Garden of Eden. It's the entire planet,
Well,
and we're
that makes
fucking it
sense
up.
actually.
We're killing it. We're killing it. That's why this place is going to come to an end in 2332. The end of my book doesn't say the end. It says 2332 because that's the end.
Well, at least I'll be dead by then. That's all I
Uh,
gotta say.
well, maybe you might. Who knows? As
Well,
long as you,
this
yeah,
body.
yeah. Well, you might come into another one. You don't want to do that. You've been here 28 times already. 28 different bodies, meaning you've been men and women.
Oh
There's
yeah,
no I'm sorry, but there's no transgenders, there's no, "Oh, let me change my parts," and all. If you change your parts, you're coming back again. You'll come
yep.
you are meant to learn the lessons in the body that you are in. Even if your body is born with, like, one and the other, but some most of the time it's one a little bit more than the other one. You're still just meant to be in that body. When you start changing parts on that body, I don't make the rules, I just explain them. You're coming back
It
because
makes sense.
you have an egotistical mind that's going on that has to be some individuality. I mean, I love the ones that say they're non-binary. You know what they say when they talk to me about that? Nothing, because they are saying that they themselves are 0, no number. So if you have no number, what does that mean? You have no value, and I have no reason to talk to you. Have a great day.
I love it. I love it, and yeah, I kind of feel the same way to
They don't
some
even
degree, but
understand that. Yeah.
they don't. I mean, it's I don't believe in a God, but I truly believe there is something out there in the universe that puts you where you are for a
I
reason.
I've seen him 6 times. I'm sorry, no, 8
Eh,
times now. He doesn't look like what you think he does. I've
I
uh,
I
one time
figured,
I saw him and he looked like the Greek god Zeus, but another time, there's one time I saw him, he was completely genderless. He just had a round head, 2 eyes, and a small nose and a little tiny mouth. He is what he chooses to be.
of course.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
he
that
didn't
makes sense.
yeah, he didn't create us in his image, not because look at all the other beings that are out there. So did he create himself into their image too? Or, I mean, so no, because when I see archangels around me, they're not men with wings and shields and swords. That's not what I see. I see
Oh
their
God,
true
no.
forms. I see 8-foot praying mantises staying around me. I see some that look like birds. I see Archangel Michael looks like a combination of a moose and a horse with these wolf eyes and this big wide head and floppy ears, no antlers, and a long body with short hair on it. That's what I see because he shows it to me, because of who I am to them, and the kind of connection I have because I have something no other medium has. That's why. Uh, but uh, yeah, there I see 8-foot praying mantises standing around me. That's what they are. They're not humans. There's some of them. I have one, her name is Helen. She was human, but she was here like 5,000 years ago. But yeah, I some of them I can describe. Most of them I can't because it's nothing to equate here.
And it makes sense. I mean, we shouldn't be able to see these things and know exactly what they are because they're
If you saw
omniscient.
it, it would
They're
scare
above
the
us.
shit out of you. It would scare the
I'm
shit out
sure.
of you. Yeah.
I'm
But
sure.
just know that they are beings of a higher consciousness that no longer need a body, and they're here to help us. But people don't have archangels following them around. You don't, and everyone, please listen. You don't have a guardian angel following you around. I mean, I ride motorcycles, and everybody says, "Oh, I got a guardian angel." No, you don't, because if you had a guardian angel following you around, guarding you from everything in your life, what would you learn? Nothing.
Nothing.
Right. So,
Ex-
but people only want them to guard them from certain things. Why would they only guard you from certain things? That's your freaking ego. Let it go.
Exactly. I mean, it's just I feel like people tried. They're what's
They
even
want what they
they're
want.
basic. Yeah, I mean, they want what they want, and they basically come up with these things as because they need something to lean on. They need something to
Yes.
help them get through the day when
Yes.
they need to rely more on themselves. I mean, I
Yes.
personally, I mean, I rely on my parents at certain times, like everybody did, but
Yeah.
at most of the time, I relied on myself because I knew I'm the only person that's gonna get me through the peril of my life at that moment and get me to the next peril of my life because it's gonna be another
Yeah.
one eventually. Yeah, everybody knows that,
Yes. But
or should.
who is your actual self? That's what we call your soul. That's who you are. I mean, the person I'm talking to, Jeremy, I'm talking looking at your body, but I'm talking to your soul. That's who you are. It's what makes you you. That's what it is. And then when you leave here and you go there, what happens? Your body dies, but you are still alive. Everyone is. And then you go back home and then you report what you did here. And then you find out at that moment if you have to come back again because you didn't fulfill your purpose, or you find out if you get to go home and stay home. That's it. That's
Hmm,
all. We are living one big giant God experiment. In other words, He's our Father and He is getting us to learn things. That's what He sent us here to do. I mean, if you were given everything in your lifetime, you wouldn't appreciate the things that you do have. So He
exactly.
wants you
I
to
mean,
learn about it. And some people figure it out, and a lot of us don't. I mean, what do you have in common with the other 7.5 billion people? They've all been to heaven. They all had to come back, just like you. So what's that
Makes
make
sense.
everybody? What's it make us all? Equal. We're
Exactly.
all equal. Doesn't make a difference
And
what
I mean,
color your skin is.
I agree, and it makes sense. I mean, because yeah, you could live a life where you're given a filet mignon every night of your life to eat and enjoy, or you could get that filet mignon once every couple months because you earned the money to get it, and you had a little extra spare, and you actually
You
earned
could,
it,
but
and you enjoy it more.
if you think somebody who's eating filet mignon all week doesn't have problems, think again, because they do.
Oh, I'm sure. I
Everybody.
mean, more money, more problems, but
Yes,
as the
yes,
saying goes.
absolutely, because more people to take it from you. Yeah,
Exactly. I mean, it's well, I don't. I mean, it always looks the grass always looks greener when you're not living that life. It always
correct.
does.
Yeah, but you're living in the sewer. Everybody is.
And the source called Earth, but
That's right, you're
that's the way.
stepping in shit, but here you're here to learn about that and how to figure it out, and then maybe help some other people to figure it out too, but we gotta do the best we can because we're not meant to be pointing rockets at each other all the time. I mean, the only reason we
Oh
go to
no.
war is to collect resources. We're not saving anybody. They're not liberating anybody. They're full of shit. They just want you to believe that, but they're actually getting money because they don't
Oh
care
God,
about
yeah.
you.
I mean,
Well,
God. You think God would want you to fight each other? Like, you think
no.
that's really like all these countries that say, "Oh, this is God, this is Muhammad, this is Allah's
Yeah. Uh,
manifest destiny." No, it's
I'm
not.
I'm killing in the name of God. No. No, you're killing because you want this piece of ground that your people have been fighting for thousands of years. Because thousands of years ago, they thought it was their ground, and now you think it's your ground. And then 1,000 years from now, they're going to think it's their ground. No, it's nobody's. It's all of ours. We need to take care of it together. That's what we need to do.
Exactly. I mean, I agree 100%. It's just I think all the war is pointless. I think all the fighting between different social groups is stupid. I think it's just like I can get along with anybody put in front of me. I don't care what you call yourself, what gender you
Yeah,
identify as. I don't care. I'll get along with you as a person, unless you are literally that bad of a person that I can't stand to be around you because you're only living for yourself.
correct. And that's what you do. We get along with the people we can. We do the best we can, but there are some people who just don't want to be with other people. So, okay, I won't be around
Exactly.
them. I'll go find others to be with.
Exactly. I mean, I've met some people who I literally consider the worst people on this face of this earth, and
Yeah.
I I deal with one. Actually, I deal with one currently on every other weekend basis for visitation. But
Oh, one of those people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get
and I mean, talk about the true definition of a narcissist. But
it. Yeah,
I
people are
mean,
just that way. And the reason they are that way is just for one reason. Like anything else, they just choose to be. That's all. They could choose
exactly,
differently, but they choose not to be. That's all. So you just deal with them. You just deal with them to the matter that you have to, and everything else, don't let it bother you, man. Because if you do, they'll bring you down, and you'll never get away from it. Yeah,
I mean they're already trying to bring me down 26 grand later. But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah. Yeah, pieces of shit. Yeah.
exactly. So gotta ask because we did talk about this. We mentioned this a few minutes ago, and I gotta ask,
Ask away.
uh, what do you think is? I mean, you kind of hinted at it, but what extraterrestrial species do you think were involved in humans becoming what they are today?
So they've never left.
Well, yeah, I know that much. I know.
They are here all the time. That's why we see things and all this all the time, and people somebody's got although no one can get a real good picture of it. NASA, they have a camera up in space that can take a picture of your license plate. For some reason, they can't get a good picture of a UFO. They have it all. They're just hiding it from us. But how many species are there? I can't count that high.
I mean, yeah,
As
I've
as many people that are here on this world, if you don't think that there's that many people somewhere else, well, then you should stop listening altogether and go hide under a rock. They are everywhere, but they aren't. But what the problem is we haven't risen to a higher understanding of knowing that and being accepting of it of that point that They are all out there helping each other, and we are not. Now, there are some out there that are bad as well, just like there's bad people here,
Oh, of course.
but there are more that are better. I mean, if they were really going to come here, like the government says eventually, because they'll do a false flag thing, there's an invasion. If they were going to come here, why haven't they done it yet and destroyed everybody? They have
Seriously,
the
why
power
didn't
to do it, right? Why haven't they done it?
why didn't they
Because
do why didn't they do it when we were simple cavemen or when we were simple medieval peasants? Like, and we had
correct.
no abilities to fight back.
Correct, because they want us to thrive, but they want us to thrive together as a people taking care of each other. I mean, in a true sense, even with Jesus being here, Jesus is not our savior. Jesus did not die for your sins because no one sins. Because if you're following their rules, that's a sin. Okay, if you're following their rules and you're breaking their rules, then you're sinning. But if you're not following their rules, you're not. It's that simple, okay? And Jesus and God has nothing to do with religion. All that stuff is them trying to tell you how to live your life the way they want you to live it and give them 10%. How did they know
Yep.
about 10% back then? Because the people who wrote the Bible were kings and queens. I mean,
Yep.
even King James has his own Bible. You know why? He didn't like the original Bible, so he wrote his own, and now people follow that. You're following power and control. That's what you're doing. But Jesus came here to let us know that we could all live as free. He was in touch. He was more in touch than I'm in touch, but that's because he was here to. His soul was only here one time. It only needed to be one time. But he was here to let us know that we could live as free men and women, take care of each other, and do share everything in the world because there's enough of everything in the world to share. He was trying to let us know that. And why was he able to heal people? Because he was in touch with his soul that much. He was trying to let us know that we could all do that too. We had to get away from power control and get back to learning about ourselves and how we can take care of ourselves. And that was part of it. And that's what he was doing. He was, but it was the kings and queens. It was religion. They don't want you to know. They don't want a second coming of Christ because if Christ came back, he would take all religion's power away from them because he knows they're evil because they want to
Ye-
have control and power over you and tell you how to live your life the way they want you to live it. So, but he was doing all that, but it was the people who were in control, kings and queens and religion, saw this happening and said, we can't have that guy doing this because he's taking our taxes, he's taking our money away, and he's taking our power away. He's leading them away from us, and they're all living together and having a good time. We can't have that. We have to be in control of them. So they put him on a cross. They tortured and murdered him. He wasn't the first one to be on a cross. He wasn't the last one to be on a cross. And then they murdered him to make an example out of him. They don't want you to wear. I mean, I say this to people all the time. Why do you want to wear a cross around your neck? It's a form of punishment. The reason they want you to wear it around your neck is so they can remind you of how much control and power they have over you. That's why they want you to wear it. It's not a
It's filthy.
representation of yeah, it's not a representation of Jesus Christ. It's a representation of power and control that they have over you. So stop listening. They tell you one day to eat bacon. They tell you the next day not to eat bacon. You know what they need to do? They need to shut the hell up. But we need to stop listening. That's what we need
I
to do.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I have a strong hatred of organized religion because of that fact, and because of the fact that throughout history it's been used as a power to control people. That's all it ever was.
Correct. Correct.
Why does why if a religion is there for the people, why do they need to have their own country slash city state that is the richest one of the richest city states in the world?
Because they have your
When
money. That's why. You know why they want to do that? Because they don't have to go out and get a real job when they can get everybody else to give them everything. That's why they do it. It's power and
exactly,
control. Yeah. But
exactly.
we called it religion then, but it's still religion. But now and the kings and queens. Now we call them government and big corporation. That's what they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big pharma, big tobacco. Well, big tobacco I support, but big
Yeah.
pharma and all the other ones. I mean,
Cars,
it's just a
electricity, oil, all that stuff. That's all owned by
yep.
them. They don't care about us. They just want to keep us under their thumb so none of us try to take their power and control away. That's what it's about. And there's less of them. There's only 1% of them. There's 99% of us. Who do you think's really in charge here? We are, but we just don't understand it. We need to.
We're too busy in fighting. We're too busy fighting with each other to really ever
Right.
take control of it.
Segregating ourselves from ourselves. Here's the message for you. Stand up or be owned. Because if you're not standing up, you're owned. You
Exa-
are a slave to this world. Doesn't make a difference what color you are. If you're not doing outside of what they are telling you to do, and what I mean by that is everything. Everything. If you're driving down the road because it says 35 miles an hour and you let them control you into all of that stuff, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. You are owned.
Yep, and that's exactly why I tell my wife I don't drive the speed limit unless there's actually a cop behind me. 'Cause
Yeah, right.
I don't have
Yeah,
the money. I don't have the money to give them money for a ticket. But at the
right.
same time, I have places to be. I don't need to go 35 miles an hour when there's no damn car in front of me. I'm
And
sorry.
what do they do after that? They put points on your license, they make your insurance go up, and they make your life harder for not obeying them,
Yep,
obeying their rules. No,
you're
no.
100% right. I mean, it's. I honestly think Robin Hood was one of the most true tales ever told because you either pay
Yeah,
the money or you're locked in chains.
yeah, absolutely.
Me- Whether it's actual physical chains or whether it's just metaphorical chains, you're locked in chains. Like
Yeah, I'm not saying rob from the rich and take from the poor, but what I am saying is take the power away. We have to take the power back. That's what we have to do.
I
That's what
agree,
that's
and
that's what God wants us to do. He wants us to live peacefully. It's not about worshiping him all day. He doesn't want us to worship him. He wants us to love him, but he wants us to love each other. And we can only do that if we actually do it. That's what it comes down to. We just have to. Because if
which
we
is
don't,
funny.
yeah.
It's funny. I had a guest last night tell me that she was told a prophecy. She's an energy priestess, and she
No,
was
she's
told a
not.
prophecy.
No, she's not. She's not an energy priestess. When they use words like that, that is them saying that I am better than you. When they say, "Oh, I talked to the ascended masters," no, they don't call themselves masters. Master is a form of I'm better than you, power and control. Priestess, power and control. I'm better than you. No, I'm just spirit
Well,
medium Daniel because I talk to spirit all day and I see God a bunch of times and I see Jesus every day and stuff like that. But he's telling us to tell me to tell everybody else to love each other. Not that I'm better than anyone else. I'm just meant for this because I'm a messenger. That's what I am. But when somebody
uh,
says, "Oh, I'm a high priestess and all that stuff," full of fucking shit. She's a she's a liar. That's what she is. But go on.
well, the interesting thing about this prophecy that I wanted to bring up is she said that the world will have its final mass spiritual awakening in 2044.
No,
Yeah, I had a feeling. I had a
it's
feeling,
already
but
it's already happened. It's already happening. She's too late.
it's well, it's happening. I mean, we
Yeah.
that's we talked about the fact that it's happening already, but that's when it should be. I guess the best word would be completed by.
No, no, it won't. No, this is our last. This is our second chance. So I have a book. It's called The New Beginning. So when I said the end is 2332, that's also the new beginning. So if you take 2332, if you and I'm not a mathematician and I'm not into numerology because that's a bunch of horseshit too, because people created numbers. So really, okay. So anyway, but you take 2332, you take the 23, add it together. What's that? 2 plus 3, that makes 5. You take the 32, you add 3 plus 2 together. What's that make? 5. You add 5 and 5 together. What's that make? 10. You turn 10 around, what do you get? 0, 1. So when this place comes to an end, we will start on a new place, new earth, 0, 1, the new beginning. The book isn't about me. It's about you people.
Of course. And do we possibly know where this new beginning is going to take place? If Earth's going to be destroyed by that point?
No, you're not going to worry about it because when you die, because when the end of the world comes, there's not actually going to be anybody here. It's just the destruction of this planet. This place will look like what Mars looks like, desolate, nothing, not livable, sort of. But I mean, there's life there, but there's life there.
It's
But
underground. It's
yeah, yeah,
underground.
yeah. But like the moon, because the moon hasn't always been in the sky. People wake up. It hasn't always been here in our orbit.
As
Okay.
oh,
Yeah,
what
there's on it and inside of it. But we will leave here, and then eventually people will wake up there, and we'll start over. That's all. They will be brought there and woke up, and a new civilization, a new world will begin. Why? Because I mean, as of basically 140 years ago, 150 years ago, when we started burning coal and oil and all that stuff, we're destroying this place.
yep.
Can't stop it. I mean, yeah, you have They have, these cars that have big giant batteries in it. You've heard of them, Teslas. Are they really a Tesla car? No, it's not. It's made of a giant battery that makes a lot of it that has to have a lot of energy to make it and still does because those things aren't just, they don't have 0 point energy. They're not just making energy that you plug into. It has to be powered by other things, coal and oil and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a farce. It's just a farce. So, but yeah, we're destroying this place. I mean, all the smog that's going in the air all the time, and we're just burning everything. Now we have nuclear plants everywhere. Nuclear can never go away. It just can't. You can't bury it enough into the ground to make it go away. So something's going to happen
Mhm.
eventually. Yeah,
It's gonna take a while, but eventually something will happen. I agree.
it
I
will.
mean,
Yeah, we started. We lit the fire, and now we can't put it out.
and speaking of actually, well, good. That's actually a good question. Speaking of Tesla, what do you think of what happened to him? Do you think he was actually a step above most humans, and that he was trying to save the Earth, and that's why they shut him down?
Yeah, yeah. He was communicating with them. They were
Really?
telling him free energy in a way that it would go out into what they're now calling 0 point energy, which is there's actually energy in the space you are. There's actually energy, enough energy that is inside of this cup that could light up an entire city, and we could use that. And he had a basic idea of that, and he was going to put these big pylon things around the world, and then and so, but we would have at that point we wouldn't have had they would have never come up with microwaves. But still, that's okay because we would have had power for everything. And then the ones who were in control of that, the General Electric and all that, they silenced him. They didn't want it happening. He actually got money from General Electric, the guy who owned it, to start this thing. And then when the guy figured out what he was doing, he said, "Shit, I can't have that. I'm starting to put all these electric poles up everywhere. I got millions and millions of dollars, which nowadays would be billions of dollars invested into that." No. So he made it go away. He made him go away. I mean,
Yep.
there are people who come out with car engines that run on water. They have figured it out that you can use the energy in the water to do that. What happens? They all suddenly disappear or they suddenly killed themselves or suddenly had an accident. No, they didn't.
Exactly.
It is your government and those people who are taking care of that. So people should know as I'm putting this word out, I do not have the idea or sense to kill myself. I don't. I never will. I'm here to do this job and I'm going to continue doing it. Just so know that. If I
Good
disappear,
to
you'll know why.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah. But if enough
and
of us
see,
come out and talk about this all the time, they can't silence all of us. They could they
exactly,
could
and I mean,
they could do it in the '70s and '80s because there was no internet. Now there is. You know,
yep.
people talk.
And now a person disappears off the internet completely, you know something happened. And you know
Yeah.
that if someone's gonna look into it eventually and someone's gonna try to figure out the truth and maybe that
I've
person will get silenced too, but maybe. But
I've already had my, Men in Black experience. I've already caught them following me. I was
ooh,
out on I was out on my motorcycle. I live in, Fort Huachuca, Arizona, right next to Fort Huachuca, Army base, the largest intelligence base in the United States. Spirit told me to come out here. They told me, "You're gonna move to Arizona." I said, "Where?" And I said, "You'll just know." I said, "What do you mean?" And I woke up the next day and told my wife to give me a map of Arizona, and she put it down in front of me. And I put my finger down on it, and I got touched yes or no, and I kept getting no, 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 yes. Oh, we're moving to Sierra Vista. We got here, Fort Huachuca, largest intelligence base in the United States. You know what they did here at Fort Huachuca in the 1960s and 70s? Experiments with psychic mediums. They ran the very first remote viewing program. I remote view. I don't have control of it. It just turns on. I don't just see spirit. I do a lot of things, but I don't talk about everything because it scared the
oh
shit out
yeah.
of people. So, yeah, I was out on my motorcycle riding around, and then I saw a white SUV with black wheels, no plates, following me. I mean, it's pretty simple to do that around here in Arizona because you could drive a fucking golf cart on the street and they don't get pulled over. They ride side by sides on the street and they don't get pulled over because they're legal. So everything's pretty much legal here. And I was riding around and I was like, these guys are fucking following me. Let me see if they're actually following me. And I went through all the different plazas where I was, and they stayed on my tail until I got to this road called Charleston Road that leads to Tombstone, Arizona. I don't live that far from there, about 18 miles away. It's a cool place. And I got on that road and I said, okay, I'm going to put an end to this shit. And I pulled over on my bike, parked it, got off my bike, pulled out my 45 and pointed it at them. And then they stopped. And then they stared at me for about 2 or 3 minutes. I could see they had on their black hats and their coats, but they didn't look human. And then they stared at me, and then they turned around and left. I know
See,
they're watching me. I've caught. So again, I remote view, but I've caught other people using technology remote viewing me. I had a conversation with one of them. He's over in Texas. I woke up and there he was watching me through a window, through a computer, something. And I know because my archangels told me that he's in Texas and he works at an Air Force base. And I couldn't hear him, but I would talk to him and he would say yes and no because he understood I couldn't hear him, and confirmed that they're watching me and they're trying to figure out how I do what I do. They want to know why God talks to me and nobody else, because he does. And so they want to figure out how they can use that. And I said, I know you're trying to get a smoking gun, but you won't because I ain't going to tell you nothing and I can't teach you how to do it because you don't have it. If you don't have it, there's nothing I can tell you. And
oh,
it's not for bad stuff, it's for good stuff.
as long as you don't end up having remote viewing of a man sitting there in a chair smoking cigarettes trying to watch you, you're pretty good, I think.
I remote view as well, but, every time it turns on, it's like I'm looking through the eyes of somebody else, like my consciousness is within them, looking through them, and the guy that I keep seeing, I caught him like 3 weeks ago. I woke up and I was just laying there and I was sitting, I went out and talked to my wife, and then I was sitting on the couch and I closed my eyes for a minute and it just turns on. It just turns on for me. Everything just turns on. I used to meditate and they would play messages for me in little cartoon form. I don't have to meditate anymore. I just close my eyes and it's already playing. But this time, this guy, he was watching TV. He was watching Beavis and Butthead. I saw it come
Good.
up on it said the TV said MTV and then Beavis and Butthead come up, and then he was watching MTV. I've seen it at the movies. It goes in movies and stuff like that. But this guy, I also know through them telling me he works for the government. He remote views me. Again, they're trying to find out how I do what I do. I can't teach it
Which
to
they
them.
never, you
Yeah,
can't. It's
you
you're
either
born with
have
it
it
or
or
you're
you
not.
don't. Yeah, you either have
Yeah.
it or you don't. Yeah. I mean, they had
Which
that's what they were doing with the remote viewing program. I talked to the guy who ran the remote viewing program over there, this colonel, and because he's on Facebook, and he knew a whole shitload about me that I didn't tell him. So, uh, but uh, uh, he that they remote view to other countries so that there's got people who can do it. I know somebody who a couple people who do it. They can see other places and they can get information, and they use that for military purposes.
Oh yeah, it's interesting because I had on a show I used to do that was more of a discussion show than an interview show. I had a co-host who during COVID, she took a astral projection course remotely on Zoom or whatever, and there was New York City cops, detectives in there as well learning to do it.
Sure. Yeah. It's not a good idea to really do that because if you don't do it correctly, you can actually separate yourself. And so your soul actually rises up out of your body. It's connected to your body. So and we call that dreaming. Okay. So when your soul is outside of your body, it's clear enough, separate it from this piece of shit right here to get clear messages. Okay. And, and then and we call it dreaming, and people come in and you're like, hey, your mom and dad's here because your mom and dad is there right next to your soul giving you the information. Now, if you actually saw your mom and dad in a dream and you wanted to see your mom and dad actually, wake yourself up because they're standing right next to you. Now everybody knows that. But if when you're up out of your body like that, if you actually separated your soul, you die. So when people talk about going to fifth and sixth dimension and all that, no, because if you don't do it properly, you'll die. And then someone will find your dead body. And then your soul, being in another dimension that it's not meant to actually be in, will die. Your consciousness will just stop. And that's why some people just stop.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes
Yeah, so
100% sense
so
that your
if you're
soul's
out
not tethered
there,
anymore.
yeah, if you have a fascination with it, and if you don't think you can really do it and it really does scare you, I'm telling you, don't fucking do it, because someone will find
Yeah.
your dead body.
There are things we're not there are some things that we're not meant to mess with and
Yeah.
that we shouldn't try to
How come
do,
some
and
people can never, I mean, a lot of spirit, there's a lot of, stuff like mediums will, "Oh, I can get in hold of your mom and dad." That's bullshit. If your mom and dad want to get in hold of you, they will through that person, or they will get a hold of you in a way that they can get a hold of you. But that doesn't mean they always wanna get a hold of you either. They're out living life that's uninterrupted now. They wanna do that. They've been here enough times that they don't have to come back. Why do you think they wanna hang around you all day if you're hanging around being a piece of shit waiting for your mom and dad to give you a secret special message from fucking heaven? They're not. Know that. But if they have something they wanna tell you that's gonna help you to stay on a correct path, because that's what they wanna do, because if you want a message from them to pat you on the fucking back or something, no, that's not what it's for. And if you have a bunch of mediums out there telling you, "Oh, I can do that," you take your fucking money and you walk away, because that's bullshit. They are bullshitting you, okay? So, but they can come here and help you to do things to stay on the correct path, to fulfill your purpose, so you can go home and stay home. That's what they want you to do. They're not gonna tell you, "Oh, the money's in the walls," or some secret special message. They're not gonna tell you that. Why? Because where they are, there is no money, and that's your ego. Let that shit go, because the true value in this world is you. Gold and rocks. Yeah, gold and paper is what we base our whole value on. You know, you've heard of it, dollar bills and gold or diamonds. The true value in this world is you, because without those things being in your hand, they're still just rocks and paper. They have no value. You are the value. Figure that out. Stop thinking that you need 6 cars and 7 houses and 10 boats. You don't. But society wants you to believe that, so you'll spend all your money on them. They don't care if you go broke. They'll get you out of debt so you can go back being broke again, second and third and fourth time. They just want you to spend their money so they can have power and control of you. That's all they want. The true value is you, not those things. I mean, I have a motorcycle and I ride it and I enjoy it, but do I need 10 of them? No, I don't. Do I need 10 cars? I have 1. No, I don't. I take care of that car so it will take care of me. I take care of
exactly.
my wife so she can take care of me. I take care of my pets because they take care of me. That's what it's about.
Yep.
Understand that's the point of it all. But yeah, yeah, they're out there watching us and they're doing all this shit, and so
I mean, I keep
I can,
saying, like, you said I've been here 28 times before,
yeah,
and, I
you've been
mean,
here 27 times before. You're on your number 28.
which I feel like, I mean, part of me feels like, and I've been told this by people, by psychics, by mediums, but I personally have always felt this, that this podcast is my purpose, that to get people's, like you's voices out there so that
To
the
help.
mass public can hear it, and
Yep,
so
to
they
help
can
everybody.
actually I felt like this has been my purpose for the last 2.5 years, and that's why when family members tell me, "Why do you waste your time doing this when you're not making anything off it?" I'm like, "'Cause I feel like I need to. I feel like someone has to, and it's supposed to be me."
I have a podcast. We have, well, I don't, um, we haven't put any new episodes out because I actually got onto an actual network, pretty soon. So when they actually go live, then they'll be able to find me on Roku and Fire TV. So my face is going to be
Nice.
on TV. But I didn't sign nobody signs these gazillion dollar contracts like Hollywood. Maybe they do, but I didn't sign that or anything like that. You know, I mean, it's something different. It's nothing that I can talk about, but I'm going to be I'm doing it because I wanna get a word out. Now, yeah, I'm gonna have I can promote my book, and stuff like other things, but I'm not I sell my book even on Amazon for $8. I'm not trying to make $1,000,000. I'm just trying to
No,
help as many people as I can. That's what I'm trying to do, so, I mean, when I get paid off of Amazon, you know how much I'm getting from the $8? $2.46. It cost me $5,000 to get it edited. I haven't sold 5,000 copies. but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to I'd love to sell 5,000 copies or 10,000 copies or whatever. But as long as they get the message from the book, that's what's important. As long as they get the message that I am trying to put out there and let them know of, that's what's important. It's not it's having winning the lottery is not about winning millions of dollars. If you win it, great. But what the point of winning is what you do with it. And if you spend it all on you, what usually happens? Everybody goes broke and then they're further in debt than they could ever be. If you
Yep.
take some of it and spend it out in places where you can help others who can't do for themselves, because that's what our purpose is. We're here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not because you can, but because you should, in that way. And if you're doing that, then you're
Yeah.
fulfilling your purpose.
Go,
Then
go.
you'll get your golden ticket to go home like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Yep. Go to a restaurant. If you win the lottery, go to a restaurant like once or twice a week. Leave the waitress who probably is a single mom trying to make ends meet. Leave her a $200 freaking tip just so she has a
Right.
little bit of extra cash to help out her kid.
Right, but don't go to
Right.
the same don't go to the same restaurant every time because then after a while people go to pick up on that and you'll get mobbed and everyone's going to try to take all your money.
Oh no, I'd be driving around in different places all through different cities and stuff just to
The
spread it
the
better.
the
But
people who help the most and the people who are the smartest people in the world, you never hear of because they don't need to be pat on the back because they just know they're doing good. I
yep.
go out and do good not to get pat on the back by everybody. I do it because I want them to succeed in this life, to get on the correct path. And succeed, I don't mean by getting millions of dollars. I mean succeeding in fulfilling their purpose so they can go home and stay home and not have to come back and do this over again. That's what I'm doing. That's what that's the word of God, the true word of God. To fulfill your purpose, to come home and stay home because he wants you to come home and stay home. But he wants you to learn. And you got to learn
Yep.
stuff before you come home and stay home. That's all.
Yep. I mean it's actually ironic because I was just laying down with my daughter before this, talking to her like we do sometimes, and she actually asked me tonight. She's like, "Dad, when you die, if you become a ghost, what are you gonna do?"
You do. Everybody does. Yeah.
And, and I
You doesn't make a difference if you fall at the top of a building, get hit by a car, or even get COVID or suicide, because suicide is not what you think it is. But when it's your time to go, it just is. And everyone becomes spirit. Everybody does. You
yep.
become energy. That's what you are.
And I mean, the answer I gave her, because she asked what I'm gonna do when I'm a ghost, I said, "Well, honey, I probably will watch you. I'm probably gonna make sure everything's okay with you all the time, because
Sure.
that's what a good parent does. I mean, that's in my opinion, that's what a good parent does, and that's
Yeah.
even as a spirit, I would wanna keep an eye on my kids. I may go have fun while they're sleeping and whatnot, but I would come
You
back and
will.
keep an eye on them when I can.
You will. You will live life uninterrupted. That's what you will do because then
I'll go to the
you're not paying bills. You're not going to uh, putting up with bullshit and all that. Yeah, you're living life now uninterrupted. It just depends on where you go. If you walk into the light, you'll just go back to a place that's beautiful, white light, loving place, and it's all about positivity and light and wonderful, and it's great. Or you remain here. Again, you're not living. But I had a spirit of a lady come through because they talk to me all the time, and you don't wanna get used to that, but I do. And she came through and she said there was 2 of them. There was her and another girl standing next to her, and she said, "My life here is like living a prison sentence." And then the other girl was laughing. So I knew when she said that, whenever they talk about negativity, they have not crossed over into the light. It's darkness there. There's nobody walking around horns in a tail torturing anybody, although some of them do torture other ones because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get their energy from them. That's all they are doing, okay? They can't kill them because no one's dead, okay? But they're trying to get their energy from them. They can't possess you like here, they can't no only one spirit can be inside your body. They can't possess you, but what they can do is influence you to do bad things. Because sometimes they come through and will influence you to go and kill somebody. And some people wake up and say, "No," but then other people go out and kill people. So, but these negative energies, yeah, there are horrible ones there, but not everything there is horrible. I see everything: dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish, everything walking around. There's nowhere to walk to. I see a lot of them wearing clothes, but they're pure energy. They can look like whatever they want to. They can. And then
Exactly.
they're just walking around. There's no place to walk to, but they stay in groups of people because they like to stay away from the negative ones that are there. They know that they are there, but they are content where they are being because they don't know if they have fulfilled their purpose or not. And they're afraid to go into what we call heaven because they can cross over anytime they want to. They just have to want to do it. And if you want to do it, you'll go. If you don't want to do it, you'll stay here walking around with all the other gazillions of miserable fucking people walking around. Or, I mean, again, none of them all miserable, but they just chose to be where they are. And they are just there. And what is there to do there? Nothing. There's except interact with everybody else. And as many people that cross over into that light, people or whatever you are, wherever you are, and wherever you go into that light, there's that many that don't. So there's the gazillions that go through, there's gazillions that are here, and they're just everywhere.
Yep, they are.
You'd be surprised what's going on behind you and around you that you just can't see. I'm telling you, you'd be fucking surprised, or
Oh,
you'd be fucking scared shitless because I see it, and you don't want to see it.
I
It's
believe it.
like
I
looking at a
mean,
horror movie every single day of your life. That's what I see.
and I
Do you
mean,
want do you want that?
it, I don't. I mean, I can sense them, and that's enough for me. I mean, I could
Right.
sense them, and that's all I need. Because I actually was told I was told by one medium that my house is like a basically like a
Like a frat
roadhouse
house.
for
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
frat house.
for spirits, and, like, they like to just
Yeah.
stop by and visit for a few days and then leave,
Yeah, that's
and
what they do. Yeah, they're not walking
and
through walls. They're just walking,
yep,
and they come into a place and they go, "Oh, I'll chill out here for a
and
while." And
it's
then
funny because we did the sage and the, that white wood I can't think of the name of.
cedar won't help you.
Yeah,
You know
not
what?
cedar, it had another name, some native type of name,
Yeah,
let's
it won't help you.
but
None of it will. You can
we
burn
did
all the
that.
sage you can burn all the sage you want. You know what will change? Nothing. You know why? Because that's a physical item that will not transpose into a non-physical realm. They don't have bodies, they don't have lungs, and they don't breathe, so they can't smell. So you can burn it all you want to, the only thing you're gonna do is set off your fire alarms. That's not gonna make them go away. The only thing that makes them go away is positive energy, and you can't call them curse names because that's I mean, I can call my friends asshole all day long because 'cause they're my friends, and I don't mean it in a negative way. But when you start meaning it in a negative way, that just energizes them to stick around you. As long as you're
Yep,
putting positive energy out and putting good intentions out, good vibes out, and remaining a good person and not walking around thinking you need everything and you're better than everybody else. As long as you're because the people who have the worst haunted houses are the biggest pieces of shit in the world. They just don't want to
yep,
tell you that because they're narcissistic piece of shit. They don't want to admit to anything. They think they're always right about everything when they're not. But when you have negative energy coming out, why would they leave? But if you're putting out positive energy, they don't want to be around you. That's the key to it. You can't put a cross up. The cross is a form of punishment. You can't put a Bible out. The Bible has rape and murder and pedophilia in it. Why do you think that's going to be something good to make something bad go away? It's not. Only you can make them go away. No one can come to your house and clear your house. They don't have the ability to do that. There's nothing you can do except put out positive energy. They can put it out for you, but you have to remain positive and continue to put it out there. You can burn all that sage all you want to. Again, it will do
oh
nothing.
that's the funny thing is the medium that I was talking to after I did that, she straight up said, she's like, "Yeah, there's a lot of spirits." I was in my garage recording at the time 'cause I used to record podcasts in my garage, and she's like, "Yeah, there's, like, a lot of spirits around you right now, but they're just walking around, like, stoned. They're
Yeah,
still there. They're just walking around stoned."
yeah.
I'm like "Alright."
Because
I'm like, "Well,
the reason
that
of that
works."
is because where they are, there's not a lot of energy. So they kind of walk around like, if they were full of energy, they would be crossed over. Now, there are bands of energies, rivers of energy that float through there. I see them all the time. They are the color blue. When I see spirit, they are blue. The background is black. So the rest of the background takes up the rest of them, and that's why they look whole to me. Okay. Some of them don't. Some of them look like little tiny, like fizzly particle things. So they're not all together. So, but but they go up to the bands and they have to cock their head back and they get in it. And then they come out of it like a dream state and they're like, whoo, like that. And they collect energy. But there's not a lot there. And they get some of it from off of each other. And that's what the negative ones want because the negative ones are red. Okay. And when I see them, if I see a person, like, let me look around. Yeah, you have a little bit of red energy around you. But that's not caused from you. It's caused from the people who are around you because you have some pieces of shit in your life. So the only way you can get rid of that is get rid of them. That's it. That's the only way you do it. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your brother, or sister, your so-called best friend, your best friend, because we all have a so-called best friend. If they're not helping you to lift you up and be a positive force in your life, then why do you have them in your life? Don't. This is what you do when they call you on the phone. Oh, you go, oh, it's that piece of shit. Click. That's what you do. And you exit them from your life. That's the only way you can do it. And then once you get rid of all that negative shit, the negative energy will go away. That's it. But but yeah, these these energies that are there, they're just there, but they're not fully energized. They need more energy. So they have to go collect it. And the real bad ones will come through into this realm and get it from us. Because you can go to a church and get a ton of energy because everybody there is walking around trying to be the better Christian and trying to prove to everybody else, which is negative energy. It's not positive. It is not a house of God. God is within the people within the house. That's what that is.
Makes sense. Well, before we wrap it up tonight, I do have to ask because you seem to know a lot, and this is the question I would be dying to ask you if I could ask any question in the world.
The lottery
What?
numbers? No, he doesn't know.
No, no, I
Not
don't.
important.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. Money be nice, but I don't need money.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
That's my mindset. But what? Because we know the government's hiding this stuff. What do you think about Bigfoot, Dogmen, all these cryptids that people have thousands of sightings of? What are they, and where do they come from?
They are what we would consider interdimensional beings. I see the Hat Man on a regular basis. That was one of the first things I saw when my wife went away on vacation. I saw the Hat Man appear in my basement. I went downstairs to get my cat, and I said, "Come on, buddy, it's time to go upstairs." And he looked at me, and he looked to his right, and I was like, "What are you looking at?" And I looked to my left, and then I saw a wall of blackness appear in the middle of the floor, and then I saw a man walk out of it, and he had a big wide-brimmed hat and a long coat. But the weird part to me, not that that wasn't weird, was he didn't have any feet. He was walking in perfect stride and he went right through the wall. Now, I see him on a regular basis all the time. He's not human. His face is kind of like palish, grayish, greenish looking, but he's humanoid. He has a human head and arms and legs and all that stuff. And I see him all the time with the long coat, and he's got like a fedora on. Every time I see him, I say, "Hey, man, how's it going?" He tips his hat to me all the time. But he's here to try to figure out how we do what we do. In other words, spiritual people. He wants to know how we get in touch with spirit and all that stuff because in his dimension, they can't, and they want to figure out how to do that. So they send him here. He's paid by someone to come through because when I say I catch people who are remote viewing me, a lot of them are into other dimensions doing it. I see this window sitting there, and I see people walk past, and they look up at it, and they look through, and they're watching me. I have absolutely uh, no privacy. They're looking at me all the time. If they're not, spirit's looking at you all the time. So, but they look at me. But yeah, so he comes through and he goes to the children. Why does he go to children?
Easy energy.
No, because they are brand new into the world. They are pure of heart. They just came from heaven. They haven't learned the ways of the world because you wake up in a baby body going, wow, and your mom and dad's going, I'm your mom and dad. And you're going, I don't know who the hell you are, but okay. And then they raise you and they teach you the ways of the world. And when they do that, they teach you pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, all that, greed, everything. They teach you hate. They teach you all that stuff. And then when they teach it to you, it washes away all that pureness. That's why they say, "Oh, I saw grandma, or I have an imaginary friend." They see spirit. They are able
Oh
to
yeah.
because they are pure of heart. But when we wash that away from them by teaching them the ways of the world, so that's why the Hat Man comes through to these kids because he's trying to figure out how to do it. Because kids are pure, they will tell him things. Oh, but there's no real answer to it because again, you can't teach it to somebody. You either have it or you don't. And I talked to the Hat guy, and he knows that. He knows, but he keeps coming. Why? Because he's like anybody else in this world. As long as they're going to pay him to do it, he's going to do it. That's it.
Yep.
Again, their world revolves around money as well. Bigfoot, interdimensional. I've seen in a bunch of interdimensional beings. Um, when I'm in my bedroom, I keep my bedroom completely blacked out so there's no light that comes in. I have curtains up and blinders up and all this shit. And I had this one thing that came through my. I woke up in the middle of the night, and when my room's lit up like it's lit up in here, I know there's something else in the room with me. So I look around and I saw this thing sitting on my bed. It had no nose, had no mouth, but it had two little tiny blue eyes, and it was round like a basketball, and it was covered in fur, and it was orange like a cat. Um, and I looked around the room and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I don't touch it because you don't know where the fuck it's from, and what it may have something on it that humans can't take. So I don't touch these things. And it came through, and I was looking at it, and I was like, and he finally, like, locked eyes with me, and I said, "Hello." And he blinked his eyes at me. I said, "You can stay here for as long as you want. You're not bothering me. You just do whatever you wanna do." And he blinked his eyes at me a couple times, and then he went back to scanning around the room, and then he just disappeared. I had another instance where, one time I was sitting in my office back in Delaware, um, and because I'm from Delaware, New Jersey actually, but Delaware. But I was sitting in my office sleeping, and I woke up. And when I woke up, my room again was completely lit up. But my room was there was no it wasn't room. All I saw was a mountain in front of me, and I saw a stream running past it, and some green grass, and I saw a cabin, and I saw these two women standing at the cabin. This was like I don't know, about 300 yards away, something like that, and I could see them, but I could hear them talking, and it's a girl, she had this red bag around her, she's wearing a dress and these little shoes, little white socks, and her mom saying, "I'll see you later, honey." She's like, "I gotta go, mom, I gotta go." She says, I'll see you when you get back." She said, "Okay, mom." And then she came running, and she's running right towards me, and I'm like, "Oh shit, man, she's coming at me." And she did. And she ran right through my legs because I was sitting on the edge of the couch and then went the other way. And I was like, what the? And I was watching. And then she ran. And then all of a sudden, everything unpixelated and went right through me, right through the room. And the whole room went right black again. And I was like, what the fuck? So I had a friend who deals with this and I told him about it. And, he said, yeah, don't go in. Don't touch them. Don't engage anything because then you'll get stuck there, and then your wife would find your dead body. Don't do it. So I don't. I have another one that lands on my foot sometimes in the morning. I'll wake up, and if I'm sure you've seen Sesame Street.
Of
So
course.
there's this thing. I see this thing. It's spinning around. It looks like they showed a picture of an atom where you see all the little lines swirling around like that. I see that, and then I see this thing sitting inside of it, looking at me, and the thing is black. But the only thing that I can equate it to what he looks like is Oscar the Grouch. That's what he looks like. I mean, I can't explain it other than that. And then he just sits there and stares at me, and then stares around the room and stuff like that, and then he just disappears. I've seen in spirit. I've seen some things. Um, I saw 7 of them standing in front of me. One of them was kinda short, but the other ones were all tall. The only thing that I can equate them to is, from Star Wars, Chewbacca, a Wookiee. I saw 7 of them.
Wookie. Yep.
Yeah, they were talking. They were in spirit, I asked them if they wanted to cross over, and they said, "No, we're fine." Now, whenever they speak to me or if anything speaks to me, a dog, a cat, or anything, I hear it as English, and that's what they said, "No, we're okay. We're just having a conversation." I said, "Okay." I let them alone, but yeah, all these other things, they're interdimensional beings. Bigfoot comes here. Why? Because this place is a fucking buffet. What do you do when you're hungry? You go to the buffet. What do you do when you're done with the buffet? You leave. That's what you do. So that's why they can't find him because he comes, he gets what he wants, and then he leaves. It's that simple. You're not going to get a hold of him. You don't want to get a hold of him because he might have something on him that could affect everybody else. Then they'll all start dying and they'll go, oh, well, it must be a disease. No, you touched a being that's not from here. and they might have a disease that's over there that you can't fight off, and then you freaking die. You think that's a good idea? It, Bigfoot is the OG off grid guy. Leave them
Yep.
alone. That's what you
I
do.
agree. And
Yeah.
plus, you don't want the government. You don't want the government getting a hold of them. Come on now, that'd be horrible.
No, because they will do shit to him that they would do to you. Do you
Yep.
want that happening to you? No. They do
No.
it to monkeys. That's what they would do to him. That's what they would. Yeah, I talked to a guy about that. I said, "You know what? You're a piece of shit. Leave him alone." "Oh, we
Yep.
can
I agree.
dissect them." I said, "Yeah, how about you give me your dog or you give me your mom and dad? Let's dissect them because that's what they would do." "Oh,
I
no, no,
agree.
well, you don't understand." I said, "No, I fucking understand. I understand you're a piece of shit. That's what you are." Yeah, and you don't just don't want to admit it, but yeah. Yeah, I don't
I
talk to
agree.
them anymore.
I
Yeah,
agree. I
yeah.
would love to see them, but I would never actually try to interact or capture them in any way.
No, no, and they're
And
big, so they can throw you
oh, that
around.
too. That too. You'll be ripped apart like you're messing with a Wookiee.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
well, Daniel, it has been a pleasure talking to you tonight. Where can people find you? Where can people find your book? Just promote yourself to the fullest.
Sure, if they wanna read my book's a story about me, how everything happened to me and for me, but there's messages at the end that are channeled messages from archangels, essentially coming from God, on how to help you to become the best version of yourself while helping others to become the best version of themselves, which will in turn help you and hopefully get your purpose fulfilled so you can go home. And you can find that on Amazon. Look for Daniel Jackson, The New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium. It's that picture behind me. I thought I had a copy of it here. Yeah, here it is. Um, it's a picture of a man walking into a bright white light. That's me. And yeah, it's my beautiful picture on the back. But yeah, they can find it on Amazon. It's $8, and if they want the audio or the digital version of it, it's $6.49. We are going to be working on an audio version, but that everyone wants to hear my voice telling it because whenever they read the book, they hear my voice. That they say it sounds like me telling them the story, which is cool, and that's what I wanted anyway. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of instances and a lot of things that happened to me with spirit that are in there. Just it would take me forever to tell everything about it, but yeah, you can find me on Amazon. You can find me on. I have a group called the Spirit Medium Daniel Group, of which I am very vocal in, and I talk to people, and they ask me questions, and I answer them. Why? Why not? So that's why I
Exactly.
do it. And eventually, when it comes out, I will be on Ethereal TV. That's ETHEREAL TV.com or .net. Sorry. And yeah, eventually that'll be on Roku and Fire TV. When that's going to go live, I'm not sure yet, but there's other shows that are going to be on there. It's a spiritual network. Unlike Gaia, which is all about like UFOs and all that, this is actually truly spiritual network and spiritual in a way where there's also other going to be other shows like different cooking shows to help you to take because in order to get answers like I do, I mean you're not going to get them unless you're a medium or and no, there's no other medium out there like me. But you have to be clear in order to get clear messages. So you got to take care of you. You got to take care of your body. You got to take care of yourself and take care of your body, mind, and spirit, and get all the negative energy away from you. And food can also cause negative energy as well. I mean, some people are this big around, and some people aren't. But whatever size you are, you just be you. That's all you can
Exactly.
concentrate on. Don't worry about everybody else judging you. If they're judging you, no. I mean, I always tell people when you see someone come towards you and you're about to judge them, think to yourself and take a self inventory of yourself and think of all the crap you've been through in your entire life. And then think, you know what? I bet you that person was going through some crap too. Maybe they haven't, or maybe they are, or maybe they're just going through it at that moment. And then you bite your tongue and walk away because because when you become perfect, then you can judge me. Okay? No. So and then you can find me on if you want to get a reading with me, like I had today earlier, you can find me at spiritmediumdaniel.com. It's one long word, www.spiritmediumdaniel.com. Um, I do like 3 different types of readings. One is where I'm doing a reading and getting questions answered for you. 2, you have an ability and you want me to help you with that, and that's what I was helping this girl before I was doing this interview. And 3, you're just someone who wants to know about all this information, and we will sit for 2 hours, and I'll tell you everything you wanna know. Because why not? Because we need to help each other. So, yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me. I'm
Well, I
everywhere.
love
Or I mean, you can go on YouTube if you want to and put in Spirit Medium Daniel and then put my last name, Jackson, in there, and you'll see I've been on in the past 3 years, I don't know, 220, 230 different podcasts, so I get out
well,
there. Trying to spread the
there you go,
word.
folks.
Positivity, man.
There you go,
But
folks.
for now, listen to this show because this is where you need to listen to it.
Well, there you go, folks. I mean, literally one of the easiest men to find probably in the world. And you all know where you can find me. I'm pretty damn easy to find too. If you don't know by now, just shame. But check the outro. It's all there for the listeners, for the watchers. Look at the thing scrolling across the bottom that you've been watching for the last hour and 20 minutes. And I'm everywhere there. But until next time, I want to thank Daniel for coming on. And I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. And I will be back on Wednesday with another interview. So, till then, have a good night, everybody.
Be good. Don't do any stupid shit.